It is Life Hacks 109. I am telling you, man, this episode's going to be sick, yeah?
I don't think mine are better.
Well,
they're
mine...
more organised.
Mine are fucking mint.
Mine are new.
I have got so many fucking good life hacks here.
So I love sandwiches. I just think sandwiches are God's gift. Yusuf's witnessed what I do to sandwiches.
Oh, so, you would be banned from Pornhub. what Johnny does to sandwiches, like, it wouldn't even be...
Like, yogurt to me is a non-savoury ketchup. It's a garnish?
Yeah. That's the closest I've ever felt to like a religious pulling towards a belief. Like yogurt is a savoury ketchup. So, I just have this feeling like I'm being bombarded with media that's just telling me that like the next 10 years are just going to be fucking shit.
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back. I'm joined by none other than Johnny and Yusuf from propanefitness.com.
Hello.
It is Life Hacks 109. Tools, approaches, apps and products for a productive and efficient life. And this episode is brought to you by The Protein Works. Thank you very much to The Protein Works for sponsoring this episode. We are massive fans of steel shakers. If you haven't transformed your life and your training by moving from plastic to steel, you have to. Much more durable.
Life-changing.
Unbelievable. They're giving away 5 for free. All that you need to do is share this episode. Post it on your socials, put it in a group chat, however you want to, and then either show me the screenshot by DMing me or tag me in your share, and I'll pick 5 people to win one of these, and yeah, they'll post them out.
Between us, we've used a lot of protein shakers.
Yeah, but this you only need one. You only need one.
Oh, it's beautiful. Nothing worse than you leave a plastic protein shaker behind a car seat overnight.
Just in your gym bag.
I mean, it doesn't fix the metal protein shaker. Doesn't fix that problem.
Does it not?
I think you wash it. And
it's easier to wash it, 100%. And it's nice. It catches a little bit of condensation on the outside of it when it's cool.
So that's what I like the most about it. Is you pick it up.
Fuck, that's cold.
It just feels cold, and it's like mid-training session or after training session. That's just you don't want like lukewarm plastic. You want cold metal.
The plastic warms it up, doesn't it? It tastes the plastic.
There's also
too.
just something you feel like a kid at nursery drinking out of plastic. There's little like red cups with you squash in.
You get the little bottles of milk, and it was milk. But you had the milk monitor, and they would come round.
So yeah. Anyway, if you want to win one, just share the episode. Tag me in the share at Chris Will X on all social media. Oh, also before I forget, people on YouTube, links to everything we're talking about will be in the show notes below. But if you follow the links, you will be supporting the podcast at no extra cost to yourself because we are on the Amazon affiliate scheme. Thank you. So yeah, on to life hacks. We've prepped quite hard for this episode. So we have got some motherfuckers. I am telling you, man, this episode's going to be sick, yeah?
I don't think mine are better.
Mine are
more organised.
Mine are fucking mint.
Mine are new.
Yours aren't the same. Okay, so I'm going to go first.
We think they're new.
Yeah.
I am going to go first. And first one is when you take a screenshot on iPhone, the corners of the screen, when the screenshot pops up, you can just press on the screenshot, open it out, and you'll see on the outside you have the frame where you can pull the crop in.
Yep.
So you can crop naturally from there. So I didn't know that you didn't just have to go back into Photo Editor afterwards. Take a screenshot. So do it now. Take a screenshot on your phone, and then if you press on the picture and then the corners of the image, you can pull down and crop from there. So you can zoom in, you can zoom it as a square, you can just take particular areas out of it. So you don't actually need to... There you go.
I also did a little line by accident.
Oh, you've drawn on it.
But that's okay.
But yeah, I mean, game changer. There we go. Right, Johnny, hot potato.
Hot potato. I'm now just going to undo my...
Oh, you've wrecked you.
This is a banger.
Is it?
Proper banger.
Okay.
Well, at least it is for me. So,
ladies, prepare. Is it for ladies?
It's not for ladies. I mean, it can be.
Okay, cool.
If that's what you want. So,
why is it for the ladies, Johnny?
Because no. So I order a lot of coffee shop coffee, okay? And I've come to the conclusion that, in my humble and correct opinion, filter coffee is the best thing to order, right? Dean VMD agrees with me, or VGD, depending on your preference. So filter coffee, so people order like Americano or whatever. Like if you want a coffee with milk, right, order a filter coffee. Now, there are 2 scenarios when you order a filter coffee. One, is that there is filter coffee in the machine. Great, winning, fantastic. The second is that they've run out of filter coffee. What are we to do? Well, what they almost always offer to do is to make you an Americano, which is more expensive for the same price.
Interesting. So what places...
So just never order an Americano.
What places do a filter coffee?
Starbucks.
Right.
Not Cafe Nero. Pret a Manger. And some Costas. They're rolling it out in Costa.
Okay. Like Usburn Coffee Company will do it as well, right? But they'll always be
I'm not
prepped.
sure, do they?
Yeah, I'm pretty certain they will do, yeah.
So just a filter coffee is the cheapest coffee on the menu, or also almost always the nicest. And if they don't have it, you just get a more expensive coffee for the same price.
Free upsell.
Free upsell.
Awesome. I love it. Yusuf.
Very good. Speaking of drinks, I'm heartbroken. I brought these guys some kombucha.
Where is it?
Vinegar.
This stuff,
water.
which is fermented tea, and I'm seeing 3 bottles almost full.
So just to be
with
clear,
lids on.
I've drank out of that one.
Yeah. As you can see, the seal on this has been broken, as is mine, but the top has been placed very firmly back on because this carbonated vinegar piss of Satan is not coming back out of this.
I bought a big crate of expensive kombucha, and I thought, you know what, I'm gonna
The only saving grace, only saving
price?
grace about this entire thing,
Oh.
£3 each.
Yeah.
So that's £100.
£2.
£2. So
Yeah.
like £70 of kombucha. Only saving grace about this whole thing.
I'm going to have to drink it now.
is
It's nice.
if you have a look right there, that's actually the Modern Wisdom logo is on the lid of it. But yeah. So, okay, so it's not kombucha.
So it's not kombucha, but I'm on a gut health kick at the moment. We can talk about that later. At the moment, you've heard us discuss Alfred at length, which is basically a way to get you away from your trackpad, away from your mouse, and fully into your keyboard. I have gone a step further recently, and there are 2 apps that I'm using, Vimium and Shortcut. Both of these
are so bean, aren't they?
These are very
Being
good.
hard.
So what these allow you to do is never need to use the trackpad again. Now, you might think, well, it's only a few centimetres away. Why wouldn't I use it? But
GG move.
the trackpad, yeah, if your hands are just on the keyboard, you're locked in, you're doing work, you're typing, you're doing stuff, you're focused. As soon as you start using the trackpad, it always leads down a horrible garden path to naughty
YouTube videos.
just whatever it is, or scrolling.
Yeah.
So this forces you to. So what this, and it's quicker as well when you use Shortcut and Vimium. These are the same app, but one is for specific to a web browser and one is for the general.
Okay.
In fact, Apple are now bringing out this in the native version of Catalina, the new Mac OS, in November or October.
Interesting.
So, but they're bringing it out specifically for disabled people and voice-activated control, but you can do it with your keyboard. What it does is anything that's possibly clickable on your screen suddenly has a letter assigned to it, a letter or 2 letters. So you press like the special key and it goes, and then you just, so like FA is close the thing, BM is minimize this, and CD would be click on this link or whatever. And so suddenly you just, the sensation is incredible because it feels like more and more you're just at one with your device and there's no gaps and faffing around with trying to access what it's the polar opposite to when you when you see your mum Googling something.
Single finger,
and she's typing HTTP into the Google search bar and then move the mouse over.
And she'll capitalise letters by pressing the caps lock on and off. Yeah. Yeah.
Do you ever worry that you are breaking your laptop?
Well, you have broken your laptop.
I'm not saying you are. I'm just saying, does it concern? Do you ever think maybe this is a bit much?
These jailbroken apps coming out of Basra.
I see.
Basra.
It's not a system tweak. So it's not a jail. There are some that I've been like, oh, I'd love that, but I don't want to jailbreak it.
Didn't you use the migration assistant to back up, to restore your new laptop from your old laptop? And your new laptop inherited some of the problems that your old laptop had.
Yeah, it did.
So there was something chronic and pathological about your last laptop.
There was,
which has now been passed down.
None of those things make it to life hacks. They're all in the experimental phase. Don't worry, Vimium and
the trouble is though, we don't know what those things are.
Yeah, but we don't need to.
So we may step on them.
Because what if that thing is Alfred? That would be the biggest nasty plot twist, wouldn't it?
They've just released 4.0. So Vimium, VIMEUM.
I've been told to wait for 4.0, Alfred.
Yeah.
VIMEUM.
VIMIUM.
IUM and Shortcut.
Yeah. So these are tools that are designed for coders and programmers who just have their lives correct. They just got it right.
It's a good way to look. Like, designing for the extremes often means that when you dial that back, it's still effective, right? We all want a little bit more efficiency.
It's like Formula 1, isn't it?
Yeah, for sure. Okay, so hold on to the bottom of the steering wheel in a crash. This is something that's taken from NASCAR drivers. So I was listening to a Joe Rogan podcast from maybe a year ago, and he was talking to a very famous NASCAR driver. His dad had been a NASCAR driver and this, that and the other. Actually talking about concussion for quite a while because they suffer with it super bad. They're absolutely locked in to these cars, right? The seats molded around them essentially, and they're 25-point harness and all this stuff. But yeah, so they were talking about the fact that he rolled his truck. Remembering this guy essentially crashes cars for a living. And he rolled his truck just on normal streets. So he's driving along, like, I think it was Christmas Day, perhaps, even going to his like family's house or something like that. Rolled his truck on some ice. And as the car's rolling, he forgot the first rule, as far as he was concerned, of being in a spinning car, which is hold the bottom of the steering wheel. And his arms, as soon as you start to spin, your arms will go, you'll be like the Team America signal, you know.
The panic signal, yeah.
Yeah, so your arms will just start flailing everywhere. And he was saying he had the window open. So he had his the window of his big truck open. Car starts rolling, like sausage rolling sideways. And his arm goes out of the window, out of the open window. And then he pulls it back in just before the car lands on that side. So you got to think, if this car's spinning around and your arms are flailing everywhere, the chance of your arm getting crushed pretty high. Holding onto the bottom of the steering wheel, so gripping the bottom like
Reverse grip bench press.
Yeah.
Reverse grip bench press, yeah. I mean, you could go mixed grip, but, you know, it's a short endurance. But yeah, holding the bottom apparently locks all your organs in a lot more, keeps your arms in tight.
Yeah.
Very secure.
You feel very safe.
Crazy secure. So practice it now. If you're listening at home.
I'm worried I'd tear a bicep.
Listening at home, just imagine.
Better than arm out the window.
Hold on to the bottom of the steering wheel. Or if you're driving, just try it now. Hold on to the bottom of the steering wheel. Feel how secure you feel.
Within the confines of driving safely on the road.
Yeah, still. I mean, 10 and 2 for the most part, but if you're stationary, you can go kind of like a 5.5 and a 5.6.
Just in case there's a crash.
Yeah.
Yeah. Because surely then also always drive like that.
Difficult.
Just in case. But then you're always ready. The trouble is, a guy who crashes professionally for a living has the moment of clarity in a collision to go,
if you think about it now, like I was considering this the other day. You're totally right. Like you need to drill holding on to the bottom of the steering wheel, which means being in lots of car crashes, which is obviously unadvisable. However, I've thought like if I was ever in a car crash, I think after maybe a second of spinning, I'd be like, right, fuck, hold the bottom of the steering wheel.
I am in an accident. I am having an accident.
Fucking shit. Yeah.
If
anyone's got any advice about how to brace and stuff, like, so I've been in a couple of car crashes where I've known the impact was coming, and I don't know the theory behind whether or not you should brace, relax, do whatever. Like, I don't know that. So if anyone knows, tell us.
You should put the clip of the Kelly Surratt in a fighter jet video.
That's brilliant.
Just go full Valsalva, like full ab tension.
Yeah.
But yeah, I know what you mean. Like, are you more likely
to injure yourself,
do a mischief?
Yeah.
Because you're so like rip an ab or something.
Yeah. Like, have a like hernia. Like
they tested. Did you ever see that thing on Channel 4 where they crashed a plane? Like they crashed a real plane into the desert, but they had loads of crash dummies in it, and they split tested. Brilliant. Split tested sitting upright or sitting in the brace position.
Yeah.
If you sit upright, you hit the seat, concuss yourself, and you just burn while you're concussed and don't know what's happening. If you brace, you snap your ankles, but you're conscious.
Why do you snap your ankles?
Because if the force goes down through your ankles, so you're like, crack. So
you have to get like
conscious,
that,
but can't get out of the plane.
Motherfucker.
Swings and roundabouts.
You know what you need there? A lot of upper body strength. Big bench.
What seat you crash? Like, rip the seat out in front of you, but you're fine. Yeah.
So, quick fact about that, it makes me really furious, is there was a recent plane crash where, I can't remember where it was, but the plane landed in some water, it was on fire, people at the front managed to get out, people at the back didn't get it out in time and died. It was in the news a few weeks ago. And the reason that the people at the back couldn't get out is because the people at the front were trying to take their luggage off the planes.
Oh my God.
Jesus fucking Christ.
Oh my God.
It makes me so angry, but I don't know what the moral of that story is.
Excuse me, mate. I've just got me duty free in the back. I've got a 200 sleeve of Benson and Hedges, menthol
in the sea. It's going to be in the sea in a second. So
the thing that worries me the most about situations like that is not me; it's the people I'm with.
Yeah.
Because I feel like all I would do in practice is just
push.
Yeah.
Very hard.
Just angle down and then go.
Do you know what you're really good at doing? Pushing
and pulling.
Technically, a deadlift's a push. If you think about it,
push the floor away.
Push away.
I mean, as far as the IPF,
if
you go for a push-pull competition,
yes.
But then I suppose you could say the bench press is a pull.
Clutching at straws here. Right, Johnny, you're up.
This is a change in tack, but get a toasty machine.
All right, okay, yeah.
So
like a George Foreman for bread.
So I love sandwiches. I just think sandwiches are God's gift of food.
And half thickness bagels
and half thickness bagels. You just witnessed what I do to sandwiches. They don't stand much of a chance.
It would be banned from Pornhub. what Johnny does to sandwiches, it wouldn't even be.
Aryan hunk destroys double
baguette. But so, because you think toast and sandwich, that's something that's reserved for, if you're in somewhere that makes them. But I can have them at home. Think how boundless your fun can be.
So I want a couple of bits of info from you here.
Okay.
I want the toasty machine that you use, and
so that is important.
I want your top 2 toasty recipes, including prep.
Okay. So the first toasty machine I bought shorted the circuitry in the house.
Sounds like a good toasty. I want that.
Well, so the thing is, you'll look at the toasty machine lineup, and they're always in because they're not very common, because not many people have them. They're always in the corner of the shop. And there'll be a 15 quid one, a 30 quid one, and then a 95 quid one. So you look at the 95 quid one, you think it's just fucking toasted bread.
Yeah.
It's hot bread with bits in.
Did you get the 95 quid one?
No, I got the cheapest one.
Okay.
You'd be proud of me. I got the cheapest one.
Yeah. And then progressively
shorted the house. So I was fuck.
You take it back.
And you think
was this Argos? I bet Argos have loads.
It was Argos. Yeah.
Isn't that the first thing you think of?
The standard,
when you think I need to get a basic kitchen appliance, Argos.
I always go for the mid-range kitchen appliance for anything.
Well, so that's the lesson. Go for the mid-range one.
Yeah.
The interesting thing about it is you have to butter the bread from the outside.
Yeah.
So you can't butter the inside of the sandwich.
Why?
Yeah.
What happens then?
So, you can.
But it would just melt. It's moist on the outside and it'll stick to the thing. Yeah. So you've got to create a film.
The biggest problem,
you need to lubricate the outside.
The biggest problem with a toaster machine is the bread sticking to the hot plate. So
could you use oil spray in the surface of the...
You could.
But then you can have oily bread.
Yeah. Because what makes the toasty...
Oh, I've just got a new one.
Nice and brown and golden is the butter.
Yeah.
Fillings, I found so far, actually, the more creative you are with this, it just comes back to bite you. There is a reason why a ham and cheese toasty is so highly circulated.
What were some failed fillings?
So don't add anything, any sauce stuff at all.
I imagine mayonnaise would be awful.
Oh god, because it just goes, it separates into its component parts. So
egg.
Yeah.
Oil.
Is it refining oil?
Yeah, it's minging. And obviously no tomato and things like that.
Tomato.
Because so the other thing is tomato. You've got to really clamp down on it. So you put the bread in.
What is it? What's the solution? Push.
Well, yeah. Well, actually, it's a pinch.
You not get on top of it.
No. Well, you'll snap it. They're not. So you put the bread in, and you do the thing what I do with most things that you think might require a bit of force, but you don't want to break it. So you go
you just feel it. You tension. Feel the tension.
Yeah. It's quite a bit of, because obviously I overfill them. That's why. So I put too much filling in.
And you go.
It's. So I'm I grab it and I'm you squeeze it once, no, it's not going to close. And then you think, well, I could remove filling. That's not an option. You manage to get the clip on, turn it on, house in short success. And then the level of advancement they have is 2 lights, green and red. right? So there's no...
The 95 one will have a full rainbow.
Well, it's exactly. So this one there's no dials. There's an on switch, and then a green light and a red light. And somehow they've decided that they know the time for all toasties to be toasted. So
universal
like,
toasty
the universal
matrix,
toasty time. So the light's red, and then it goes green. But because it's like, it'll be like, I want to say like a minute and 45 seconds, you get a bit distracted. And then you'll look at it and realise...
So there's no sound?
No
buzzer?
No, there's no notification.
Auto off?
You have to literally stare at it. So you'll be like...
This is so fucking primitive.
And then you look at it, and
£95
it's like being green for 30 seconds, and it's like bubbling out the side, cheese is going all over the place. But yeah, ham and cheese.
What ham? What
Don't
cheese?
deviate. Wafer thin ham. I quite like Leerdammer cheese. Have you had that before?
Is that the stuff with the holes in?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Bit sweet, bit
yellow,
nutty,
yellow packaging.
Yeah. But fucking delicious.
What toasty machine? Because I'm gonna have to link this on.
I think
Amazon.
it's Breville.
See, from your description,
Breville sandwich maker sounds like a legitimate.
From your description, I don't know if I would buy that model.
It's just too much of a
get
jump
one with a buzz or a
no.
Like my egg boiler shouts at me when it's
I think that's
done.
because that's quite important that it does that though.
I think no more because nothing can go on fire. It just
ruins the egg. Like
Yeah,
if you toast a toasty for slightly too long, you get a bit the bread's a bit browned.
But if you left it for ages, wouldn't the bread go on fire?
But you're a twat if you leave it for ages. That's like if you leave the oven on for too long.
Well,
there's no alarm on the oven. But so they're brilliant. They're really cheap, and if you are like looking for something to have, like if you'll have sandwiches in the house, just have toasties for God's sake. Like
it's a good point, man. I had a refeed day, and I was walking through Asda, and looked,
buy birthday cake,
and so didn't buy birthday cake.
You always have birthday cake, don't you?
It's not birthday cake. And saw some extra large crumpets.
Ooh,
mate,
I love a good crumpet.
How big?
They're like this, aren't they?
Yeah, pretty big. Like
a
almost.
How do you eat it?
So
Crispy.
So the way that I toasted mine was I had to put it in and then take both of them in, then take the full things out, rotate 180 degrees, then put them back in and do the other side. But then what I chose to do was have an extra thick single side of butter and just put one on top of the other.
Oh, delicious.
Because both ends, obviously the outside of a crumpet is the crustiest bit, right?
And then not the soft and gooey in the inside.
Yeah, but it's two outsides, shitloads of butter, really salty butter. Oh my God.
See, the downside of a toasty machine is it can only be used for toasties because the plates are shaped like
a toasty.
It like crimps
a
bit of bread, and like an A4 bit of bread into two. You know what I mean? Don't you? You know exactly what I mean. Like A4 white Warburton's bread into two.
Best of both.
So I use, actually, this is another tip. Don't, for fuck's sake, use normal bread.
Oh God.
Okay.
Because it's too thick. You need to buy
thin cut.
So just get like supermarket own brand toasty bread. Thinner, it compresses more.
Interesting. I was wondering why toasty bread is called toasty bread.
There's more.
Well, you get Danish as well, where it's like 10 calories per slice.
Where you lick it, it dissolves in your tongue. They're good though, isn't it?
It's interesting you said about like the 3 price ranges, because I do think that applies to all kitchen appliances. And I have a pressure cooker. In fact, have we discussed this on previous life?
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay. So you'll have known that I went from rice cooker to pressure cooker, £100 instant pot. There is one for about £2,000 that you can get.
Oh,
Jesus fucking Christ!
But
does it come with a chef?
Yeah, I feel like it's like super.
There's a glory hole, isn't there?
There must be some business going on there. But
remove the keratin.
Penis cooker.
So today, my life hack is something that I think the 3 of us need to start doing.
Oh God! Okay.
Which is
this counselling? Is someone going to have a pillow?
No.
I'd be up for that.
Counselling.
Well, like not. Let's not.
Our coach. Sorry. Our coach was like everyone needs to do counselling therapy at some point. But doodle poll. So yeah.
What is this?
This is when
say the word again.
This is when you doodle poll. This is when you've got between 3 people. You're all like, oh, we need to do a thing on Tuesday. Oh no, I can't do Tuesday, but I can do Tuesday morning. No, I can't because I've got. Okay, how about Thursday? I've said, man, I can't do Thursday, and you end up having this like long conversation to try and organise a date. Whereas Doodle Poll gets you all get sent out a list of times. You tick the ones that you can do, and then it collates and finds the overlaps, and it says
like Calendly.
Similar to Calendly is like a booking service for 2 people.
Yeah.
Whereas Doodlepole, if you're like organising a stag do or something.
So I used it for a stag do.
Did you
organise it?
Epic. That is awesome. Is there a referral code? Is it free?
It's free.
It's free up to like a certain number of
okay.
users or something. Yeah.
Okay. Just make a new email.
Yeah.
That's awesome. That's a fucking really good one.
service.
Right. Right. Oh well, this one's a fucking game changer if you don't know about it. Auto share your Instagram story to your Facebook story. This is the most free gains that I'm ever going to give you on life hacks, right? It's the equivalent free gains is wearing knee sleeves to squat.
Getting a belt.
So
Any belt.
if you are on your phone, if you don't know what I'm talking about, go onto your phone, go onto Instagram, swipe right so that you open up your Instagram story. Little button at the bottom that is story settings, story settings, and then scroll right to the bottom and there's just a little nonchalant toggle that says share story to Facebook. That allows you to automatically share whatever you put on your Instagram story on your Facebook story. And no one actually looks after their Facebook story because who gives a fuck about Facebook stories? However, I have about 15,000 followers between friends and followers on mine, and I'm getting just over 1,000 views on Facebook.
Because Facebook are desperate for the open rates, so
they need it. Yes, so they're driving it really hard, and it'll auto pull through polls. So if you put a poll on Instagram, it'll bring the ability across. One thing it doesn't do, which is slightly frustrating, especially for what a lot of people in marketing will do, is it doesn't transfer across swipe ups because you can't swipe up on Facebook to go to a link, which is a little bit annoying. So a lot of the time I'll be like, here's a new podcast or whatever.
Is it like clickable or
no?
Or is it
just doesn't exist. It literally just got this thing at the bottom.
That's stupid.
Yeah, a bit irritating. But some of the stuff works, like some of the polls work and some of the questions work and things. But it is the freest gains you're ever going to get, and you can share. If you're on a business account, maybe if you're on a personal, but I doubt it. If you're on a business account, you can share it to a fan page. So our lads that are looking after our club nights, they'll be going around taking Instagram stories and stuff like that. But our fan pages are massive. All club night fan pages are massive because it's where the albums get uploaded to. And we're finding that we're matching our Instagram reach on Facebook just through the stories. And you're already doing it. You're already recording the content. And once you've pressed that button once, free gains, man. The game changer. Johnny.
So I have one that will upset people. So I'm going to do this one initially, then I'll do a proper one.
Who's it going to upset? Us or
I think so. It's a shit thing to do. It's a shit thing to do, and I think it'll upset people, especially people who care about the environment.
Okay. Here we go.
So,
Jesus.
So
strap yourself in, ladies and gentlemen.
This works. I've tested that it works. I've observed it happen.
Punch a cat.
No, not punch a cat. Strangle a dolphin. No. Put your thumb in a dolphin's blowhole. No.
I bet they've got sufficient room. I bet your thumb doesn't have enough girth to get in a blowhole. I bet it rattles.
You probably need to.
It would also be really,
imagine
really
if you
hard
just
to strangle one.
Yeah. Although I feel like it could probably.
It'd be like trying to blow up a hot water bottle, and then if you let go for a minute, it
hot water
up. Yeah.
Really? Oh god!
I'm gonna have to brace that.
Oh shit! I've never
there's
thought
so
that
much resistance in them. Like,
yeah.
But yeah, strangling a dolphin would also be quite hard. I think
difficult. Yeah, you can't get it into.
Where's its neck?
Well, it's all neck.
It's entire neck. We discussed this about a shark,
fin.
didn't we? Yeah.
A big muscly neck.
Squeezing a big.
You can't get it in a full Nelson or a half Nelson.
I remember I had a teacher at school that used to argue that everybody has their price for everything, and he was adamant. And someone went, "I disagree."
Who was that?
I'll not say, but I bet you can guess.
Okay, can you do the voice?
Right. Okay. So he went, "Everyone has their price," and someone went, "No, like I wouldn't kill a puppy." And he went, "I bet you would. I bet you would." You know. 10 million. And then it was like, and he was like, "Would you strangle a dolphin? Would you kill a dolphin?" "I bet you would. I bet you 100 million. I told you." Right.
Just bullying children.
We were like sixth form.
I
still
fully
children.
agree with him. Everyone has their price for anything.
going down a
anyway, to your life hack.
So, you know how when you are in Sainsbury's, right, and you're getting something and you go to the till, but not self-service, go to the till and there's someone processing your shopping for you, and they say, would you like a bag? And you say, yes. And then they say, that'll be 5p, is that okay? And you go, yes. If you want to avoid the 5p charge, so this is what is dick move. So what you do is you wait for them to process the payment, and then you say, oh, can I have a bag, please? And they'll give you one for free. And they won't then set up a new transaction to process the 5p, because the processing fee would just erode the 5p anyway.
And they understand the back end processing fees sufficiently high.
No, but like they're not going to
be a trickle down.
There's a customer waiting,
said, like,
right? There's a customer waiting, and you're about to leave. And you're like,
this isn't a like 10 p.m. on a Monday tactic, is it? When there's 10 checkout operators.
Oh no, you need to be
just
like
you.
During normal busy times.
It depends if there's a protocol that they've just told everyone blanket, like if someone asks for it after you've processed.
So it happened one time, right? It happened one time to me, and I was like, that was weird. She didn't charge me for the bag. But it's a dick move, because I understand why
they've got for the environment to do that.
Well, but the whole point of that,
so it's better to have your own bags.
It's a Pigouvian tax, isn't it? Designed to offset the negative externalities of the plastic so it's designed to discourage someone from getting a bag. What I'm doing is getting a bag anyway and not paying.
And encouraging people publicly
to do it.
I'm just saying. So I'm saying I found it works. Do with it what you will.
Yeah.
You know, I don't think it's the right thing to do necessarily, but I've tested it since it happened the first time, and it does still work.
The twat upgrade to that. Oh, actually, this wouldn't work. But I actually think that this is a better way to do what you talked about there.
This is kill a dolphin.
It's get a dolphin into a half Nelson, so you can get it in a
big
half
neck,
one behind,
and then grab like that, and then.
The solution is, my favourite thing is, when they go, hiya, would you like a bag? And I go, say yes. Would you like a hand with your packing? Yes.
Really?
I just say, and if not, I just say, would you mind giving me a hand with my packing? Which is their own language used back at them. Even though I actually think, especially Asda might have cycled that out now, but it's just, it's so ingrained in them. That's like the Russian trigger code. And they just immediately start packing your shit away. And you can just do whatever you want.
Right.
If they are particularly surly, the solution, this is so bad. I can't believe you brought this up, and I've just opened this world of like
Chris's
malignant supermarket tactics. So what I do is I'll pretend that there's something I've forgotten and just go off on a little walk for 10 minutes.
Because then you have to stand and watch them.
And they'll put it in. I'm like, look, fuck. I've just forgotten something. Would you mind just packing my bags while I go? Like an entire thing just lined up.
What if they're so surly that you come back and they go, where's your thing that you've forgotten? And
they wouldn't do
couldn't
that
find
themselves.
it. Well, too late. They've already packed the bags.
That's true. You can be like, I didn't want any more.
Don't fuck on me!
There's a really funny... So Alan Partridge scissored aisle, where he becomes a checkout lady for a day. Brilliant. You probably won't be able to get it on YouTube, but that is brilliant.
Cool. Right, Seth, you got one?
I have. It's going to get me in trouble.
Fine, but that one's just got Johnny in trouble
Yeah,
with some vegans.
I'm going to get like picketers and the whole thing.
Vegans.
Okay.
Yeah. Dolphin lovers.
I have found a way to schedule iMessages.
Wow.
Apologies to Yusuf's girlfriend.
Fucking hell. Come on then.
So you go to Shortcuts, which used to be a third-party app that's now been acquired by Apple. And it is an iPhone.
Is this in your settings?
So you download it from the App Store, but Apple have made it. And in the next iOS, it's going to be...
Shortcuts.
It's going to be the new... it's going to be one of the native bits of apps. And it's an automation service for iPhone. What it allows you to do is... I'll give you a few examples of things that it can do.
So all of the texts that I've sent Johnny over the past...
I wrote in 2006.
The problem is, obviously, having to respond, because the only way that you can respond by scheduling is predicting the question.
Yeah.
But that's why you have to... All the texts are just, that's nice, that's interesting. I also think that.
Oh God, we're getting really down there.
Is this like a chatbot, but just for you?
You just got to make your own.
It's not actually a chatbot. It's just messages that Yusuf's typing.
Yeah.
So shortcuts, other things that it can do. it can resume the latest book that you were listening to at
No one cares
the
about
latest
that.
thing.
Scheduling iMessages.
How do you do it?
Schedule iMessage. It's just one of the shortcuts on there.
Let me see.
You can add to Wunderlist.
Let me see.
You can.
You're not letting me see.
You can play the most.
Tiny.
I can't see now.
You can play the most recent playlist. So and also you can create a smart playlist.
Oh, is that a widget? Is that in your widget thing?
Yeah.
Right,
so,
okay.
so you just one tap and then it. So
can you schedule an iMessage to me for the next in 5 minutes time?
okay.
Cool. That's going to be good. If it doesn't arrive in 5 minutes' time, we know that it's bullshit.
You can also create a smart playlist of like the last 50 songs that you've added to your iTunes, and it'll auto
I just don't
update
use iTunes.
that. Okay. So
But it would be nice if I did.
send delayed message.
Man, I have got so many fucking good life hacks here. I've got loads.
We're gonna have to do life hacks 110.
Maybe we
110.
should have like a single payment of 99999 and it unlocks all the life hacks.
99. £9,500. Right. Are you shortcuts for a thing?
Yeah.
Who
Cool.
scheduled it?
Is it on loud? Your phone on loud?
I can
It's
do
the only
that.
time I'm allowing you to put it on loud in a podcast. Okay, so
I don't think I have message notifications on.
that's good. See, that's fucking good. That too deep down. Okay, so unsplash.com. Is it unsplash.com? Yeah, unsplash.com. So
It's like Pexels and Pixabay and stuff.
so everybody
Proper good, yeah.
everybody wants to use.
Aggregator.
Stop it. Everybody wants nice stock photos that they can use, whether it's for marketing or just for cover photo for some event that you're making on Facebook or whatever it is. Unsplash.com is, without a doubt, the best place to find well-curated stock photos. So a lot of photographers across the internet have taken mint photos of random stuff, whether it be meditating or a photo of the spine or a cool photo of coffee or anything. Unsplash.com. Search whatever it is that you're looking for. I guarantee they're a bit hipstery. Some of the photos, they are a little bit, but they over deliver on cool and edginess, which for a stock photo probably brings it to about normality.
Yeah,
which
most stock photos are so clinical looking.
Yes,
just
exactly.
Chris, these are brilliant. Are these free?
Yes, all of them royalty free.
Great advert.
This is... So Pexels. Have we spoken about that one before?
No.
Have you heard of Pexels, VMD?
So being that it's
So Pexels is what I've always used. It's very similar to this, like the formatting and everything is very
Search
similar.
meditation.
It even has some of the same photos.
Search meditation or productivity.
I've searched gym.
Oh, just insane mint photos of like cool shit.
He's a big blonde-haired man.
He says large human, yes. So yeah, unsplash.com.
That's
and
pretty good.
You can also, a really fucking good thing is if you've got, what was that story app that we came up with?
Cover the one that has the rip
paper. Motherfucker.
Oh, yeah.
VMD's gesturing from behind there.
Story.
Anyway.
Mimid.
One word.
Fold.
Unfold. Yes, thanks, Steve. Unfold has inbuilt into it. So Unfold we already featured. It's a nice way of making Instagram stories look very curated. Unfold has built into it. You can either add a photo from your gallery, take a photo, or automatically search Unsplash and just pull a photo in without saving it to your phone. That motherfucker.
There's a couple of WordPress apps we use that do that as well, and it's lovely. They must have an API that just allows you to. So can I piggyback off that?
Yeah, cool.
There's a Mac app called Zoomy with 2 M's that is an aggregator of Pixabay, Pexels, Unsplash.
What's it called?
Zoomy, ZOOMMY, and it's £12, and it's a
Lifetime license.
Yeah, I think so. And you just search it just aggregates all the photos. It splits them by paid and free photos. And I prefer having a native Mac.
You're blown away by Unsplash, aren't you?
Completely. I use Pexels 2-3 days a week.
Unsplash
And
pisses all over it.
that is...
Oh man,
Game
it's
changing.
life-changing.
Man, some of your ads now.
We should do life hacks more often.
That's Frank the Tank for
Is
you.
that a choo-choo train? All right.
Frank the Tank.
Frank the Tank.
Right, Zoomy app. Oh, we're going back the other way.
Well, that was just a piggyback off yours.
You've broken it.
No, that was Chris.
Oh, he
that
has
was all
broken.
Chris's life hack.
Okay. Johnny, your turn.
Oh my god.
Who's not going to have their kombucha?
None of us are going to have this
Can I have someone's,
Satan's vinegar piss.
Can I have someone's
Can I have
kombucha?
it
There you
back?
go. Thank you.
Thank you.
I'd like it back, please.
Would you like it?
No, thank you. No.
Johnny, what are you doing?
I'm just trying to decide which one to pick. Okay, I'll do this one. So, you may have heard you like everyone has a to-do list, right? So everyone has like somewhere like a bit of paper or in an app, whatever. And you have the problem where you sit down and you're like, what am I going to do? Like, how do I pick from this? So some people say pick one thing to do per day. Some people say have 3 important tasks to do. But the natural reaction to that is like, oh yeah, but I need to go and like take this thing back to the shop or whatever. So a lot of things get missed from that framework. So the one that, something that I read about a long time ago, used it when I was working as an accountant actually quite a bit, but started using it again recently, is 5-3-1. So it's not the strength training program. 5-3-1 for productivity. So
Bench.
Squat, bench, and deadlift. No, so you have one key task, the most important thing for that day, which would be, if that's all you got done, still a successful day. You then have 3 medium importance of, the next 3 things that would be on your priority list. And then you do 5 admin level bullshit tasks.
How do you segment them out?
What do you mean?
So how do you choose what falls into, because some tasks may be able to be categorized into...
I see. Well, so admin stuff is like stuff that you probably wouldn't even normally put on your to-do list. Like really low level things, but sometimes also things that like you would just let slide because they're not that important, but still matter when they add up. So trying to think of examples, like make a phone, like someone you need to call, something you need to take back, an errand you need to run, that sort of stuff. Most important thing is like the thing of the most impact. So if you...
Does that happen first?
Ideally, you would do that thing first. Yeah. So like if you're involved in business or whatever, you run your own business, something that impacts your revenue or moves your business forward. If you're an employee, it's like the thing that you're might lose your job if you don't do. And then 3 things after that would just be the next 3 things on your list. So I found that to be a nice balance between, like, firstly, if you tick off all the 5 things, you still feel like, get in, like I'm smashing it, even though they're not important. And by the end of the work week, you've done 25 admin level tasks.
Probably in a natural ratio of those important tasks as well, isn't it?
Nice. I like it. Is there a blog or like a little...
If you search like 5-3-1 productivity method, and the best app I've found to use this on...
Big Lifts 2.
Big Lifts 2. No, so... it involves strangling a... No. Todoist. So I know you don't like Todoist. I know you like things and all that sort of stuff, but Todoist allows you to color code or categorize your tasks. Blue, red, or yellow. So blue is my admin tasks, yellow is my medium importance, and red is the most important. So I'll actually go through my to-do list and I'll pre-categorize them. So at the start of the day, I just literally click and drag 5 things, 3 things, 1 thing, done, day scheduled. Nice. That's all I do.
That's a good way to do it.
It's good.
Seth.
This is pretty related to what Johnny's just said about Todoist. I use Wunderlist, but both apps have this feature, which is a quick capture hotkey. So
does Things.
So does Thing. Oh, great. Okay, so all 3, whether you're a Todoist, Wunderlist, or Things user, they all have this feature. And I know my life hacks have been very techy today, but there'll be a keyboard shortcut for Wunderlist. It's Command-Shift-W. Comes up with a bar. You type in the task that you need to do. And I think with Todoist has the best version of this, where if you put like a symbol of @ or hashtag or whatever, you can then allocate it to a certain list and you can tag it as high, medium, or low priority, and then it's just in your system. So you don't have to open up the app or anything. You can just be in the middle of something and be like, oh, I need to do that thing. Okay, so tag urgent in folder work.
Can you smart schedule with your? So like if you were to say,
if I control and this is because I haven't logged in. Boom. So I haven't logged in to Things on my new laptop.
So I think Command T is Todoist, pretty sure. So Command T, and then it'd be like log into Unsplash every Monday, Wednesday, Friday.
Yeah,
and it sets
natural language. So Tiago Forte, if you're interested in this sort of stuff, if this is kind of really getting your juices flowing, the episode
flowing hard.
Yeah, that's Unsplash though for you. The episode that I did with Tiago Forte is the fucking Bible on this. Like, he's just a monster.
He knows quite a bit about it, doesn't he?
He really does, yeah. But a frictionless capture for to-do lists, I think, is the... using a smart capture. One thing that Things has is called Things Helper, which is where it uses a smart capture So let's say that you're on an email and you use, mine is Control and space to open up the capture, but Control Option space pulls in the title of the page that you're on a website and then puts the URL into the description. So let's say that you need to reply to an email, you just...
So is it whichever app is at the front?
Yes. And it'll just pull that through, but typically it's used for websites. Right. So it'll just pull that in and it'll title it with the thing at the top, which you can change the name of the page, and then it'll...
Do you two use, I'm guessing you do, the Evernote email address when you know the thing of like when you're sifting through emails, if you need to file something in reference.
Can you explain this? Like just what the feature is?
So if you have an Evernote account, you have an email address associated to that Evernote account that allows you to send an email to your Evernote, I think to inbox. So I have an Alfred shortcut, which is I type ever, enter, and it sends the email and files it away to my Evernote.
That's lovely. What, as in, so you have to have the email open?
Yeah, so when I'm sifting through my emails, I can't remember, is it Tiago Forte? It's like you either action it, delay it, or reference it or something like that.
Yeah, there's an email app that's purely designed around that thing.
Is it like it's like a game for Gmail?
Kind of. It's a standalone thing, and there's 4 big buttons next to every email.
Oh, right, okay.
And so it's purely designed around that.
Someone made a game for Gmail to get you to inbox zero, where you like have to swipe emails different directions.
Tinder for emails.
Yeah.
So there's an equivalent for this, which is send to Kindle. So you can turn on an accepted email address on your Kindle device. It's actually on your Amazon account. And then anything which you receive from that email address, if the attachment can be opened by Kindle, it'll automatically add it to your library on all your devices. So let's say that someone sends you, oh, hi mate, I've just ripped the new Mark Manson book, or someone sent me it, or whatever. All that you do, take that email, forward it to like chris.williamson at kindle.com, and all of your devices will have that document on there.
Do you use WhisperSync?
No, because I don't tend to buy books that I also listen to. I tend to have them on one or another. Right.
That's a good, if you're like in the car, if you're reading a book in the morning and you want to continue listening on the way to work.
Yeah. That's happened with a couple of books.
Syncs your place on Audible.
I'm going to do a slightly short one now. So, if you are listening to house music in the gym and you're doing some isometric holds, let's say that you're holding a plank, or you need to you're holding a stretch and you need to know how long, let's say you're holding it for 30 seconds. If you're listening to house music, almost all house music is written at between about 124 and 128 beats per minute, which means that every hi-hat hit or every other beat is about a second. So if you're listening to music, you don't need to look at the clock, just count every other beat, and that's going to count you in seconds.
Can you play us an example?
Yeah, sure. So
if we're less than 7 seconds for the
this is going to pull us. In fact, this is going to pull us on YouTube.
All right, we'll not do it.
So, but yeah, every other beat is 1 second, almost exactly. And by using that as a cadence for doing whatever isometric holds, stretches, anything. There you go. So headphones are in. Don't need to look in. There you go.
Excellent.
Johnny.
So this one is actually influenced by listening to your podcast with James Clear and then re-reviewing my notes on Atomic Habits.
Nice.
But I think the mistake that people make with building habits and behaviors is they make it too general. So they'll say, I'm going to build the habit of meditating every day, for example. And what happens is you will, for a week, meditate in the morning, and then something will happen. You're like, oh, I'll do it later. And then before you know it, you've lost your streak completely of meditating. So instead, what I've tried to focus doing is you drill and build what is almost like the lead indicator of that habit being completed. So like I will meditate in the morning after making a coffee or whatever. But the biggest change for me was trying to achieve a calorie deficit, right? Something that we help a lot of people do. But saying, I'm going to track my macros for 12 weeks or I'm going to lose weight. Like the biggest lead indicator of me hitting my macros and therefore being in a calorie deficit across the week is after I meditate in the morning, I sit and just plan in my Fitness Pal what I'm going to eat that day, probably. So I track my macros in the morning at the start of the day. And all that means is, so it's your best estimate, right? Like obviously things change. But all that means is that when you deviate from what you tracked, you immediately think, oh, well,
I go back and change my fitness plan.
Well, no, I need to adjust something later in the day. So like what most people do is they'll eat breakfast, eat lunch, eat dinner, track it, go, fuck, I'm over by 400 calories. Shit. Oh, I better adjust tomorrow. Or
and then by the next day, you've had a night's sleep, you've kind of forgotten about that.
And then you over your calories by several thousand across the week.
So does it predict your calories earlier in the day?
Yeah, so like most people have a pretty routine. Like most people
feeding schedule.
Have a similar breakfast. Like if you have like 40 grams of cereal and 2 scoops of whey.
Yeah, exactly.
So banana.
Yeah.
Banana.
So a banana as well.
I've introduced a banana recently.
Nice. You're on a health kick.
Yeah.
You had some like crushed
doctor away.
Smashed avocado on the cereal.
Oh yeah, exactly. With
poached egg.
With a bit of like sprinkled black pepper and
lovely.
Yeah.
So yeah, most people eat very similar foods, and usually the question mark is dinner. So if you just best predict dinner, and if you listen to my previous life hack and you've got gusto, then you just pick the recipe card at the start of the day and put that in. Or another one. Can I do 2?
Yeah.
So this was a present I got recently. James Haskells Cookbook, right, has barcodes on the recipe pages that scan immediately into MyFitnessPal.
Oh, that's great.
So it has listed macros.
That's going to become standard practice, I imagine.
Oh, well, yeah. But do you have any idea how few recipe books have the macros?
Yeah.
Unbelievable.
And you're trying to put in like a third of a cup of flour.
Yeah, I know.
Well, that's the thing. You're not even putting the end result in. You're putting in like what are the raw fucking raw materials. So, that's great. Who's James Haskell? Just a guy.
He's a rugby player. Former England rugby player. I don't think he plays anymore. Big dude.
It's the standard career route that any ex-celebrity does now, isn't it? Like
punditry,
just cooking,
cookbook.
It's
daytime TV. I was on BBC Radio Ulster today.
Or several weeks ago.
Yeah, it will be several weeks ago in podcast land, won't it? BBC Radio Ulster.
Podcast land.
It's interesting. What have we got, Yusuf?
So, 2 monitors has changed my life.
Second display. Well, actually, external display. Then second external display.
Yeah. So,
how much better is having 2 external displays than having 1?
Have you got 2 external displays?
I have the potential for it. So, I
don't even have one.
I acquired an old TV, like an old Samsung TV, like flat screen. I haven't watched TV in years, so didn't know what to do with it. Thinking to sell it, and then I was like, hang on, there's an HDMI cable. Can I get an HDMI to Thunderbolt or whatever it's called?
Have you not got an HDMI in your Mac? Oh, you've got an Air.
Yeah. So managed to find one on Amazon. I had to buy 3 cables because the first 2 I bought male to male, and then I bought like a USB thinking it had a USB. So that was my stupidity, but eventually got the correct cable, and it's just instantaneous. There's no delay between thingies. The quality is perfect. It's just like an extension of your screen. And all year, when you have document on one side and something you're typing on the other, for example, or something to reference and something to do, it's just been fantastic. And then if you're not doing a task like that, having your to-do list maximized on that side is beautiful.
Do you ever just maximize BeFocus Pro?
Yeah,
it's so huge counter with a single task.
It's brilliant because it's like, right, you're going to do this task.
Now you can set them, can't you? Order them, so you can have you can drag something from there to there seamlessly.
So I use Better Touch Tool for expanding the shortcuts and things on Mac, which I highly recommend. It's like £10 for 3 years license, I think. And I've got a shortcut where I swipe left from the edge of the trackpad, and it takes the window that's at the frontmost thing and maximizes it to the next display.
So you throw it.
So have you got 3 displays including your MacBook?
So the other display is what you can use is any iPad or iPhone using an app called Duet. Now again, new version of iOS. Well, this is made by Apple developers.
Is AirPlay mirroring and screen mirroring not a thing?
You can do that as well, but you have to have the device that you're mirroring to has to be capable of that. This is just
and that's only mirroring,
right?
So it's not
an
extension
display, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
So what Duet allows you to do, and it will soon be included in the default Apple thing, is that you plug in an iPhone or an iPad and you stand it up, and it just acts as another monitor.
Okay.
So
that's you have a very small phone.
Yeah, that's an argument for getting the new XS Plus or something.
Like a massive phone.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean,
Extra display.
with an iPhone, it's only useful for like something that's like
B-Focus Pro.
Time or a B-Focus Pro.
That's cool. So I'm going to ride off the back of that. Can I do two?
Actually, just before you do, Better Touch Tool, just on that note, there's a new feature that allows you know how we mentioned a few life hacks ago to improve to turn your trackpad speed up to the maximum.
It can take it past the current limit. It
creates a new spectrum.
Oh my god.
To like sickening speed.
So I sent the screenshot. I sent the screenshot of increased trackpad sensitivity, and then in brackets after it says goes past current like Apple settings. I sent the screenshot to Darren. Darren said I want it immediately.
Did I send you that?
Yeah.
You can also, on that theme, this is for VMD, you can use an iMac as an external display for a MacBook.
Why would you not just
Thunderbolt to Thunderbolt?
Oh, nice.
Just in case you want to.
So, extending from your life hack there, Yusuf, is convert to a standing desk. Like, I got in touch with the guys who make the chair that Joe Rogan has, which is called the Fully Capisco chair. And they also make the world's best standing desk, which is
a nice chair.
Yeah, it's very comfortable. It's a lot more like a saddle. You need to so if you're listening, go and Google Fully Capisco, Capisco, Dingo. And to have a little look at it. It looks like the maddest thing ever, but it is ridiculously comfortable. It's a standing desk stool that you can use from just above typical seating height to all the way above higher than you are when you're standing. And the desk also is on actuators, and with the touch of a button, you can go from seating to standing. You have preset memory buttons on it as well. You press the button and it just rises up. Now, it isn't cheap. That's the issue. But if you are working, especially if this is going to be the thing that you're going to sit at for the rest of your life, by the time that this is out, in fact, Stuart McGill went out today. So you'll have heard the world's leading back pain specialists say that move well and move often is the best heuristic to use for reducing back pain. If you're a knowledge worker, if you work on a desk, you will have some degree of back discomfort. Everyone does. So moving from seating to standing as seamlessly as you can. For me, I explained this to you the other day, Seth. When I'm doing Pomodoros now, I do 2 Pomodoros standing, 1 Pomodoro seating. And as my alarm goes off, and if I need to change, just press a button. Press a button, I'll move. And that's it. And standing all day to seating to standing, moving around is making me feel. Another thing as well, I'm so much more energized when I stand up. Doing a podcast, standing up, I'm able to use my hands, talk to, etc.
We should do a life hack, all three of us standing up one day.
We'll do a full podcast.
Do you know Barbell Shrugged?
Oh, yeah, it is, isn't it?
They do all their podcasts. No, they go around the country. Do all their podcasts on. So if you want a cheaper version of that, what I've had for ages, Veridesk, which is just a big unit that you put on top of any desk, and that becomes a standing desk with loads of adjustable heights.
So it comes up and forward.
Yeah. Also, Kelly Starrett has a book called Desk Bound, where he's very anti-sitting, like very, very anti-sitting. But he has a sequence of like mobility drills. They're more like just movements you can do to alleviate some of the symptoms of sitting that work extremely well in Pomodoro breaks.
Nice.
So Pomodoro breaks are best used, in my opinion, as either a little quick meditation session or do one of Kelly Starrett's like
rehab, man. So I do cool. the McGill Big 3 takes almost exactly 4 minutes 30.
Does it?
For me to do one of the movements. It's about 15 minutes to get all 3 done. So you can get away, especially side plank. Side plank's great. So I'm gonna do another one. We are approaching summer. People are going away on holiday, and you're going to be going through the airport. This I only realised it on my most recent trip, and I've been away quite a lot this year. And this is the discussion about where do you get, once you get into the departure lounge, where do you get your food for the flight from? So I mean, if you're not buying food for a flight, even if it's a short one, you need it because you're left with like Ryanair's Toasty, which is not a nice toasty.
No,
it's a Breville sandwich
they're
maker.
always wet.
Very soggy.
Why are they wet?
Very
What the fuck is that process?
Very condensation.
Are they microwaving them?
I think so.
They must be.
Microwaving.
They need to listen to life hacks.
Sounds
Do.
horrendous.
Fucking get the Breville on there. I mean, the Breville.
That is hot floppy bread.
You have to pay extra for it, surely, as well.
Oh, you
What do you mean?
To
On
get it
Ryanair.
cold. You just
Well,
pay-
yeah, you don't get
pay
it.
for
You don't get
everything.
it
It's
included.
not like an.
Oh no! So the short haul flights you're paying on top.
Yeah.
Long haul flights, even worse than that. The food that you get on long haul flights makes me almost more hungry than before I ate it.
Yeah.
Like it is not.
Especially if you've got an allergy, because what you get is a fruit platter, and when they say fruit platter, what they mean is a bit of melon.
That is so true. A bit of honeydew, like a thin slice.
Yeah.
I think you first off, I need to preface this and create the foundation that if you are going on a plane, you need some food. The best approach for this is to get a meal deal, right? So you're like, right, okay, well, I want some water. I don't have to keep calling the lady over. Also, water's expensive on the plane. Need some water. Probably going to get a sandwich anyway. It's like safest sort of bet. Oh, well, if I've got that, I may as well get a snack as well. Upsell. WHSmith meal deal, $4.99. Boots meal deal, $3.99. And Boots meal deal, Boots is the only store, WHSmith doesn't have this, Boots has Soreen pre-buttered 2 slices malt loaf. You can only get the single bar, which is smaller, in WHSmith's, but in Boots, £1 less, and you can get pre-buttered Soreen slices.
I'm doing that this week.
Man, game changer. I'm telling you.
I have a
Fucking telling you,
I have a
man.
sandwich buying tip.
Oh,
So I buy a lot of sandwiches, like high volume sandwich purchases. So one of the biggest
very
problems,
sandwich heavy today, aren't we?
the biggest problem, if you are someone who doesn't, unlike these two, just maintain abs all year round, eating whatever the hell you want, and you have to actually consider what you eat. When you're buying like a sandwich from WHSmith or Boots, typically the calories are 400 to 600, and the protein's normally pretty low. Fat's pretty high, protein's pretty low. So I have a 10% rule to try and get that. You want to get as close to this 10% rule in general when buying any meal in a place like this. And the 10% rule is calories, 10% of that number, that should be what you're aiming for in grams of protein. And the closest you can get to that is pretty fucking good. Like a grenade bar is about 10%.
So it's not always possible, but you should be aiming
Just
for that.
aim to get as close to that. So what that ends up looking like is some, obviously, chicken, bacon, salad kind of
Sometimes
sandwich.
they have it like a protein booster, don't they? Like a little
Sometimes.
chicken or
I
something.
bet an all-day breakfast is fucking good for that.
It's actually not.
Hash browns.
So an
chicken,
all day breakfast will be 600 with maybe protein in the 20s.
Yeah.
If you get a chicken and bacon salad, usually something like that, it'll be 400 with like a 35 gram protein.
Oh,
Yeah.
really getting up
Very
there now.
close.
Yeah.
That's good.
And then if you want like a chocolate bar, you're thinking, well, what do I do? Because that's going to increase my calories, but not. Then you get like chicken raiders or something shit like that, but just bump the protein up.
That's a very unappetizing selection.
Doesn't
of
matter.
Food. Well, yeah, because gains. That's
Yeah.
true. Because gains.
Because gains.
I remember being on a train and you bought either 2 or 3 sandwiches.
I remember that trip. It was 2.
Chris, I blinked.
Fucking
blinked, bro.
you, man.
I looked
They were
back
there,
around,
yeah. And I looked.
I see Johnny, he's not even chewing anymore. He's just got empty packets next to him. And
I
I'm
get
like,
really annoyed in those situations, so I'll often buy, because I think it's important. If you're traveling, got a backpack, reserve sandwich. So important. You never know when you're going to be caught in a situation like you're in a museum, you're hungry, the cafe's shit.
Thank God.
Reserve sandwich.
I've got my...
Yeah.
Right.
I bet you've got a slot in your backpack where you can just go...
You've got one of those fancy Thule backpacks.
I do have a
backpacks,
full
don't you?
backpack, but you go with 2 sandwiches in Boots. You got 2 sandwiches and like a big Smart Water instantly. Buy a Smart Water.
Smart.
You should
Like
you
a
should,
1 litre one.
You should take us through Thule on a new one. I'm suggesting life hacks. I want to hear off you.
Okay.
Cool.
You go to the thing with 2 sandwiches, and they say, it's only if you get a pack of crisps. And I just want the sandwiches and the water.
I don't want 2 fucking.
Yeah, but if you just spend another £2, you get.
No, okay.
I don't want the meal deal. I just want the 2 sandwiches and a bottle of water.
Excuse me, have you seen the percentage of protein in these sandwiches? Do I look like a fucking amateur here?
This is a problem unique to Johnny where there'll be a better deal than the thing that he's getting. But he'll be saying, no, I don't want the free can of Coke because I haven't got anywhere to carry it.
I'm not going to buy the Telegraph to save 3 pence on this bottle of water that I've got here because I don't want to fucking...
And no, I don't want like the share bar of dairy milk either. I don't care if it's on offer.
Yeah.
Can I just have the thing that I came in
Yeah.
for?
Who are we on to? You've just done one.
No, you've just done one. You just did the 10% rule on sandwiches.
That,
Okay, go again.
I think you earned another one there.
Thank
Get
you.
another one. Go on
Thank you. Okay, so
Is that text?
no.
I need to find.
We're well over 5 minutes.
Text.
I've got to. That's because you're being forced to watch Love Island.
Yeah.
I was on it, and I haven't had to watch a single second.
You were on it, and I didn't watch an episode while you were on it.
And now you're being forced to watch it.
I was revising for exams at the time.
You were.
Every person who, well, this will apply to a lot of people, but a lot of people who work 9 to 5 jobs, the sort of rhythm that you're in, the hunger patterns that are created, typically people get hungry between 3:30 and 4:30, right? And what they usually do, vending machine, muffin,
snack,
like latte and a biscotti or whatever, yogurt and whey is the best.
Like Greek yogurt,
a little bit of banana whey, or
how do you make sure it dissolves properly and you don't get like pouch?
whisk it.
Just give it a good skirt. I know what you mean.
Yeah, because sometimes you get a bubble,
Get a pocket of powder.
Oh, horrible.
Just give it a good whisk.
So the best
fork instead of a spoon.
What you really need for this is a container which is larger than the volume of the yogurt, which means
because otherwise
decant the yogurt.
That's a very good point, because if you're operating on like a full pot of yogurt and then you're trying to balance a scoop of whey,
it's just going to, and you're going to one little gust of wind, and it's because you get those little air pockets that come up and they fire the.
It's like a geyser in Iceland.
It's exactly. We were there.
What you do in that situation is you dig a trench, open the trench, and then push the yogurt into the trench, then stir. Never try and stir it with the yogurt sitting on top.
So you bury the whey.
With the whey sitting on top, sorry.
Okay.
But yeah, so that is, from the things I found, and feel free to add something, calories for satiety value, Greek yogurt with a bit of whey, like 250, 300 calories, and
leveling it up with extra protein, skyr.
Oh, well, yeah, obviously. Ideally Icelandic skyr.
Directly from Iceland.
Unfortunately, though, it doesn't exist anywhere apart
because Danone bought it.
I can clearly remember shortly after I was convinced I was going to die of hypothermia, eating that strawberry skyr and just saying to you, like, I can't communicate how nice this is.
Yeah,
it's hard to know how much of it was like delirium from
just being.
It was early onset pneumonia.
But that strawberry skyr, it was like a pudding. It was like a low calorie, protein filled pudding.
What's the percentage of protein to calories in skyr? It'll be like 20%.
So, you know, Whey, 0%. Yeah. That is essentially a protein supplement. That should be in the protein line. It's like 50 grams of protein, 0 fat in a tub of Whey. It is like £8.
What
you get kilo tubs of Whey.
Was it you had a kilo with 4 double deckers chopped into it?
I've mixed some mental shit into yogurt in my time.
I mean, I can imagine Chris having a meal like that as well. So Chris's post-meal snack is often he'll have a meal, which will be 2 ready meals dumped into a big bowl with some salad. That's the meal, and then it'll be just a little finisher. It would be a malt loaf and a pot of yogurt, dip, and then just squashed in.
So something that Chris, me, and Audio Broadcast all have in common is we see yogurt is the cement to any meal. Like it's
not
what
actually food
binds things.
itself.
Well, it's like something would be weird, but if you have it with yogurt, it's fine.
Like, yogurt to me is a non-savoury ketchup. It's a garnish.
Yeah,
it's a garnish.
That's the closest I've ever felt to like a religious pulling towards a belief. Like yogurt is a savoury ketchup.
I believe in yogurt.
In yogurt.
I do. Do you believe in yogurt?
I believe in yogurt. I put it on all sorts. Like, people have had goes at me because I've had like the honey yogurt put onto curry. Because it's there. People are like, "Oh, what are you trying to do that? It's sweet." And it's like, well, it's just bland material that you can put on food.
The little mini Wheys with a side of like raspberry compote honey.
Outstanding.
Okay. I mean, they're expensive. they're a treat, but
and they're silly to say as well.
Whey, because everyone wants to say fudge, but that's immature. So instead of
Whey. Right, Seth. Should we do one more, and then we'll do a quick round?
Cool. Okay. So, on one of the previous life hacks, I think I will have mentioned that I store the naughty apps on my phone on like the 8th page of apps.
You are an idiot folder.
What do you call the folder?
So, this is what the folder's called.
Bumbly bum.
No. So it's called...
It's explicit rating podcast.
cunt times 10.
And the idea is you go through it, and obviously you've got the timer thing on it as well, screen time, and you're like, oh, I better just check Instagram. Okay, just
laborious, isn't it? It's highly friction.
Highly friction. You go all the way to the end, and then you look at it and you're like, I've just been reminded, like, and then by that point you're like, if you still do it, you think, well, okay, at least I've made this choice consciously, and
so is the hack having screen time next to it?
So I did that. I've just gone a step further now, thanks to George McGill, and just deleted Instagram from my phone, and just don't even notice. Like, there's no urge to look at it.
I bet you'll reinstall it
at some point, but the only reason I need to, because I upload all of my Instagram stuff from Flume for desktop, and so
stories. So one of the problems is that Flume doesn't support stories. Like, if it does that, I would be game changer. I will feature on the next one about my strategy for 2 phones. Why I've got 2 phones, one social media device and one not. And my screen time, even aggregating them both, has dropped significantly. Because
from 2 phones?
Yeah. Which is bizarre. Adding a second phone has reduced screen time, but it has. Because mindless scrolling's been pretty much eliminated. I've got, actually, for the next one, I've got fucking loads of phone reduction life hacks. But right, I'll do. So, what was your one? What was your one, Seth? There, like technically, what would you call it? Just
deleting Instagram, or whatever your Vice app is.
Yeah,
your mindless thing that you check on, and replace it with something that's useful, like
got you.
iBooks.
If you want a real kick in the cock about phone use, right? The latest series of Black Mirror.
Get me.
Is called. The latest series of Black Mirror has been released. Season 5.
Yep.
The episode called Smithereens is, I'll not ruin it, but the ending, the phone call, you just like it's not some long drawn out like complex like, you know, the Ruby shit. What are you laughing at?
It's unrelated. I'll say afterwards.
Okay. So it's about phone use.
Okay.
Very, very hard hitting.
It's only 3 episodes long.
But they're quite. So when I watched the first few, I was like, "That's a bit shit." But you sit and think about them afterwards, and you're like, "Oh, fuck."
Very simple. Charlie Brooker. Do you know? I've said this before, and I'll say it again. Charlie Brooker. I've been watching him from Screen Wipe to News Wipe to all of the random shit he did, like back in 2008.
He's an observer, isn't he? Very
good. It's so fucking good to see someone who was probably at the mercy of, was it BBC or Channel 4, one of the two, like some shite network, like totally at the mercy.
That's what Black Mirror was on.
Yes, but then it got no. When he was doing Screen Wipe on whatever, and then he comes up with this idea for Black Mirror, and first one does good, second one does good, then Netflix come in, big money, third one smashes it. And it's just, he's going to be
as well,
fucking raking it in now. And he's finally got a platform where his visions, I'm presuming he's still probably taking creative lead here, like where his visions are actually able to be like they had the guy that was the main villain out of Sherlock Holmes.
That's the episode that...
Right, yeah. Like, you swinging your penis around.
There's like a pop star in one of them. I don't know. Like,
I bet Logan Paul's in the next season. He's everywhere.
I can't believe how you've become such a fan of Logan Paul.
It's his podcast, man. Impulsive.
I'll have to have a listen.
He's got traffic, hasn't he?
I was laughing at a picture that I saw of like when you're texting boys in class, and it was a shot of urgent exit required. Which, okay.
Have you seen...
You made a reference to that show. And so I assume...
Line of Duty.
Yeah.
So everyone knows what we're talking about.
Yeah.
Okay.
We've all just had the fear that we've spoiled each other's experiences. Hang on. Had you seen the end of season 3?
No, I laughed at it and I thought, oh shit, is this not a Line of Duty reference? In which case, like, how fucking weird do I look?
Fuck it, we can throw this in. This should technically be on a catch-up, but...
Well, we've ruined it for all the listeners now anyway.
Well, they don't know. Watch Line of Duty. If you need a new Netflix series, watch. I'm going to type it in right now.
And the new Black Mirror.
Line of Duty.
Yeah.
Oh, and watch.
You'll like the new
Fine.
Batman.
I think both of those shows constitute a life hack, given how.
Yeah. Watch The Planet, Brian Cox's new one on BBC Two, iPlayer.
Right.
It's the equivalent of Planet Earth for the solar system.
Brian Cox.
For the solar system.
Years and years on BBC. So, really clever concept. Takes a family in current. So, like, they talk about Brexit and things. It's a drama. And they fast forward time. 10 years, 20 years. So, like, there's been another financial crisis.
Yeah.
Like,
Someone's had a kid.
There's been nuclear stuff has gone on. And you just watch it and you just have this a bit, like, it's like,
there's something really viscerally horrible about the passing of time quickly. Like, that...
Rick and Morty,
the show, Interstellar, where there's that famous scene, and it's so gut-wrenching because it's just like...
Where Matthew McConaughey finds out that his daughter's like...
80 or something.
Because they're in the way for too long.
Well, the problem, I think what the passing of time happening quickly in TV and film is playing on all of our fears of death.
So it's not... I just have this feeling like I'm being bombarded with media that's just telling me that, like, the next 10 years is going to be fucking shit.
Not if we keep on
bad things.
I'll tell you what, the next 10 years are not going to be shit if this podcast continues growing at the rate it is. We can all fuck off really soon. Honestly, please
build
just
a spaceship.
Continue to share this episode. Honestly, continue to share the episode. I really
help
do
us build our
appreciate it.
spaceship.
And we will have a fucking spaceship, and everyone can come and have a massive party.
Everyone can come.
Everyone's welcome.
You're all invited.
Right,
Up to a safe limit.
Yeah, last three. We'll do quick fire. So my one, it's another holiday one. If you are sunbathing, might be on holiday, might be in the UK if we finally get some good enough weather. What you want to do to ensure that you are facing the sun without any odd like angles, because you get like one side of your body's a little bit too done in the day or whatever it is. What you want to do is look at the way that the bed or seat is aligned, and you want to make sure that the shadows cast by the seat are running completely parallel with the seat. So if you have one of the legs chopping out and underneath one of the actual bed or the seat, that means it's at an angle, and you want to continue turning to that. And then for a nice little upgrade, what you can do is work out which direction the sun's going in, and you want to add maybe about sort of 15 degrees, 20 degrees, and that's probably got you about maybe half an hour to an hour until it gets to the middle, which means that you've got 2 hours and it'll cook both sides of you evenly.
That's good.
Equal chance of skin cancer everywhere.
Use sunscreen.
Always. Mine is periodise who you learn from or who you listen to. So rather than having like 10 people that you listen to a bit or whatever, what I quite like doing is I'll go all in on someone for like a month and a bit. And it's not something I do on purpose, but
Sam Evans.
Sam Evans, yeah, Anton. But like, you find someone on YouTube or and then you're like, right, I'm going to listen to their podcast, buy their book, absorb yourself in their world, learn what you want from that person, and then move on. And then that way I think you get totally exposed to, like, it's what we're saying about you read a book, don't you? You get exposed to the way that the ideas and stuff like that.
Some is greater than the whole of the parts when you immerse yourself like that. In fact, Ryan Holiday has a blog post about how I think he calls it the swarm theory of learning. And it's how he's like become a military history expert. And the way that he did it was just by drowning in military history stuff. And I do think definitely...
Total immersion.
Well, because of availability bias and the echo chamber effect and recency bias and all of these things, having a lot of information which all ties in together actually is going to reduce your requirement for recall, which means that your depth of understanding will be better and your recall will improve when you start to piece multiple things together. Yeah. So yeah, that's it.
You need like whatever you like, whoever you listen to. I think if you have total understanding of the picture of what they're trying to say and why they think what they think, you're like, right, that makes sense, and then you can move on and learn something else. Rather than having like, it's like go all in on Tim Ferriss. Like just listen to the Tim Ferriss podcast
for a couple of weeks,
and I bet you'll enjoy it a lot more than it being bitty.
Yeah, nice.
Yeah, like it's only really come together for me. Like just the course I've done this year, because of like you learn the little subcomponents over the years, but you don't piece anything together until everything finally gets brought together. There we go. I get it. So I was going to do it. that was yours.
Yeah.
Periodise I was going to do another tech one, but I think we'll leave that for the next one. Yeah. This is something that I mentioned in a previous podcast, which was a story from my old boss at work, who I was talking to her, and on her screen came up a little email notification that said like urgent with loads of capital letters and stars and things, and she just closed the
Exit
window.
required.
Emergency exit.
So she just closed the window, and I was like, oh, that was urgent. You don't want to get that. She was like, no, I decide what is urgent. Not this man. Everything is urgent was a requester. And I was like, that is such an amazing quote. And Tim Ferriss highlighted this as well, which is someone saying he couldn't attribute who it was. But so now I've got a quote from someone who doesn't know who it was. Who said it. Your lack of planning does not constitute my emergency. So the life hack is, if someone comes running to you with something that is burning for them, but you're working on something that is a priority, question whether that is objectively an emergency, or is it just someone else's lack of planning that doesn't have to become your emergency now.
I like that. And I guess as well, it means that even if you followed a lot of our strategies about turning off notifications and checking your emails periodically as opposed to ad hoc when they arrive, there will be a way that someone else can game that system. Oh, well, I'll go knock on your door.
Yeah,
or I'll get a phone call or whatever it might be, and it avoids that from happening. But thank you very much for tuning in. Do not forget to... Where have I put the other shaker?
Oh, it's here.
It's on the bloody floor. Do not buy Equinox kombucha. It tastes like Satan's vinegar piss. What you should do
like a bottle of
is share this episode and either tag me in the share or show me a screenshot, DM me at ChrisWillX, wherever you find me. Share these. I'm going to choose 5 people to get one of these. They're awesome. Thank you very much to the Protein Works for sponsoring this episode. And we will catch you next time.
We haven't named the koala.
Koalia. Chlamydia koala. If you have any better ideas for what we can call the koala, then do it. But for now, thank you very much for tuning in. Like, share, subscribe, do all of that good stuff. I really appreciate it. Okay.
Bye.
Goodbye.
Then.